All right, what's up, my friends? Welcome back to our complete core set 2021 review. We did white, we did blue, now it's time for black. We're going around the color wheel, of course. And full set review, constructed, limited. If you missed any of it, it's all going to be on the YouTube. All one playlist. Make sure you check out it all. And we're doing every card in the set. Constructed focus, but limited too. Every card, right? So let's go. We're doing black now, all right? We're doing black. Did white, did blue. Let's go. Our first card up is Alchemist's Gift. 1 mana trick. I do love these in limited. Here gets +1/+1 and gains Death Touch or Lifelink to end of turn. This card's pretty mopey. Death Touch isn't super exciting because you would hope the pump would win the combat anyway. And if you're going to lose the combat, you don't want to don't want to 2-for-1 yourself. And then Lifelink isn't very exciting either. It's basically just +1/+1. And that's not very good for 1 mana. Would I be super sad to play this card in my deck? If I really needed a trick, no, but this card's pretty weak overall. If it gave a Death Touch or Lifelink counter, then we'd be talking. But big thanks, GG, for the gifted subs, and what's up, Dylan? So yeah, not a very exciting card, and obviously unplayable constructed. So Archfiend's Vessel. Can you believe? Just hold on a second, everyone. Can you believe this card was printed a set after Lurrus of the Dream Den? Imagine playing this card, Lurrus. Come on. Get real. Get real. Archfiend's Vessel. 1 mana for a 1/1 lifelinker. It's a human. If it enters the battlefield, if it entered from your graveyard or you cast it from your graveyard, you exile it, make a 5/5 flyer. So Lurrus cast this thing. Oopsie. Come on. Come on. Like, that's just ridiculous. You know? It's funny to think what Standard would look like right now with Companions at full power, Oko, Once Upon a Time, Veil of Summer, Fire's Invention. Like, what a, like, 2 years it's been. You know? Just unbelievable. Unbelievable. But yeah, this card's kind of cute. Call of the Death Dweller, pretty cool with this. You get to get a 5/5. Definitely a synergy card. As a 1/1 human lifelink for 1, it's not like that bad. But definitely a synergy card for sure. Definitely a synergy card. And then yes, I think that playing Lurrus as a main deck card and playing this card is actually pretty reasonable too. So this is a very interesting card. The power level is there if you can do it. But yeah, and then probably not really a constructed card. Although if you can put counters on it, it's pretty cool. It's fine. So let's make it the Dredge. I don't know what this would do in Dredge, honestly. So, but yeah, definitely a pretty powerful card if you're doing the right things with it. Bad deal. Who wants to take a bad deal? This is a Mind Rot and a Read the Bones for 6 mana. You'll play this in limited if you want like a pretty good top end card, but losing 2 life kind of sucks. Not a very exciting card. Not a very exciting card. Definitely, again, in limited, like, it's a decent card advantage swing for, for a controlling draft deck for sure, but not super exciting, you know? Not super exciting. Blood Glutton. 5 mana for a 4/3 lifelinker. I mean, it's an okay limited card. 3 toughness is pretty bad for a 5-drop, but lifelink is pretty big, you know? And the gaining life like this in the mid-game in big chunks is pretty big. So definitely a reasonable limited card. Then again, of course, there's also life lane, life theme stuff, you know. So definitely a thing. Cage Zombie, 3 mana for a 2/3, 2 mana to activate. Drain. Your opponent loses 2 life, but only if a creature died this turn. Pretty mopey card. I think if it's drained for 2, where you made them lose 2 and you gain 2 life to help trigger life gain synergies, this card becomes really, really good. But as it stands, it's pretty mopey, pretty bad stats. Pretty clunky too. You gotta like have a creature die and have 2 mana up and use it. It's just like not a very exciting card. If it drained for 2, we'd be talking for sure. But Carrion Grub. Grub. 4 mana for an 0/5. Comes into play mill 4. So these cards are cool and limited because they self-perpetuate your mill stuff. And it basically has the power of the largest creature in your graveyard. This card's definitely fine. Very solid limited card. You know, say you mill a 3/3. And now you have a 3/5 for 4 that milled 4 cards. That's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Solid limited card. You gotta have things you want to do with it, graveyard-wise, but definitely a pretty solid card. 5 toughness is a lot. 5 toughness is a lot. So, solid limited card, not playable constructed. I guess you could put, like, Draco in the graveyard. Crypt Lurker, 4 mana for a 3/4. Comes into play. You can sacrifice a creature or discard a creature card. If you do, draw a card. So if there's some sort of like, like synergy stuff you're doing, like token sacrifice and stuff like that, definitely a reasonable limited card. Not quite Bushmeat Poacher, but if you sack up on 1, draw a card, that's fine. I doubt you'd want to discard a creature card in limited, because you usually want to discard lands if you're looting, but it's an okay limited card. Not super exciting, but pretty mopey. Deathbloom Thallid. This is your bread and butter limited card. A 3/2 for 3 is fine, and then card advantage makes token. Then you get to use your token to do other stuff too. Solid draft card for sure. Definitely pretty cool. Demonic Embrace. This is a pretty interesting card. Now, of course, auras are pretty mopey. They require a lot to be good, but this one has a lot going on. Black 1 aura. Enchanted creature gets +3/+1 and has flying and is a demon. Baneslayer Angel's gonna get you. That's a pretty big boost there. Giving flying and a large power boost is pretty big game. This turns your 2-drop and basically into a dragon. But of course you get blown out by a bounce spell or a kill spell, right? Well, you can cast it from your graveyard, paying 3 life, and discarding a card. So I don't think this card is great. Especially with the fairy around, because you getting the thing bounced is just awful, But this card's kind of fine. You get to keep casting it over and over and over again. Putting a card in a graveyard might actually be a good thing for you if you have synergies too. But yeah, definitely this card. If this card showed up in constructed, I would not be like shocked for sure. And then in limited, this card's pretty freaking good. Pretty good for sure. Duress should be in every core set. Simple as that. Nothing more to say. Classic. Eliminate. This card's really good. It's funny because the planeswalkers that cost 3 or less that you would kill all like beat this card. You kill their Teferi, they probably urge you a card off of it. You kill their Narset, they probably urge you a card off of it. If you kill their Oko. But yeah, this is a pretty solid card. This is just Smother with upside. And I think this card's actually more relevant for older formats. Being able to kill an Oko or something like that, or Ren and 6 too, while also killing Tarmogoyf and creatures like that. Pretty sweet. Good instant, good ability. Smother's pretty good. Don't think Smother's necessarily good enough by itself. It has been in standard, not been played. But when you add that extra utility on killing planeswalkers against control decks, it's pretty good. Pretty solid card. I think this card's one of the best black cards in the set. And we'll definitely see play in older formats as well, for sure. And limited, just a great kill spell, just super solid. Not amazing, but very solid kill spell. Fenedimpt is a 2-mana 1/2 flyer, gets Death Touch, solid limited card. Got flying, poke away, good blocker. It's fun. Is this card better than Heartless Act? I think so, but I'm not sure. Finishing Blow is your overcosted kill spell in limited. So these cards usually cost 4. They added a mana so you can kill planeswalkers. Probably won't come up very often, but this is your usual clunky 5-mana kill spell in limited. It's not Blood Curdle. 5's a lot more than 4, so take it as you can. Gloom Sower. This set has some pretty good common control finishers. 7 mana for an 8/6. Woo, that's a monster. Cool art, too. I agree. Definitely cool art. And whenever it becomes blocked, that creature's controller loses 2 and you gain 2. So even if they're chump blocking it, you're still draining to win the race and kill them. This is a really, really good limited control finisher. If you're playing a deck with a lot of kill spells and card draw, you plop this thing down on turn 7, it's a solid one. You don't want 3 of these, probably, but very solid finisher for your control deck. I like this card. Good solid control finisher limited. Gourmand, really cool art on this card. Really creepy Diablo-esque art. Like it a lot. 6 mana for a 5/5 flyer. As an additional cost to cast this spell, sack a creature. Flying Trample, sure. Flample. And When Gourmand enters the battlefield, each opponent sacrifices a creature. So, I think this card should have cost 5. At 5, I'm like pretty interested in this card. At 6, it's okay. You know, like if you have a lot of like foddery creatures, this card will definitely win the game in limited sometimes. You know, at that point, your opponent probably has multiple things in play. But if you kill a 2/2 with this, you're not super upset. Yeah, at rare, this is definitely a 5-mana card. It's kind of a weird card. It reminds me of like if this card was in Champions of Kamigawa, I would not be surprised. Or like, you know, Mercadian Masks. Like it's kind of like an older design, a little overcosted, has a downside, not super stat heavy, but definitely a cool card. Definitely a cool card. In limited, constructed, obviously not. Grasp is back. Grasp, it's a common too. This was uncommon last time. Grasp is phenomenal constructed for decks that can cast it. And then in limited, just a really, really good kill spell. This is just like super A+ in limited. Very playable, constructed. Just a really solid kill spell. I think this card was actually common the first time around in Mirrodin, whatever. But yeah, definitely a very powerful kill spell in all case. This is a fun reprint. So this card isn't even that good. Like the 4-mana tutor doesn't have a drawback, you know, and this only costs 3, but it's only a portal card. It's playable in vintage, so it's worth like $200. Good, fun, smart reprint here. Just like lower the price of a card, put a chase card in your new set. Won't affect standard at all for the most part. Standard already has a Wishclaw Talisman, so like probably not going to affect too much. Obviously, it's like, you know, maybe will matter in Modern, you know, or Pioneer, but definitely a cool card. Don't play this card limited unless you have some ridiculous bomb in your deck. It's rough. So cool art too. Cool art. Hooded Blightfang. I like this card. 3 mana for a 1/4 Death Touch. Already pretty good. Like a 1/4 Death Touch in limited is kind of a house. It's very hard to attack into. Very, very hard to attack into. But wait, there's more. Whenever a creature you control with Death Touch attacks, you drain 1. So it's like a Hell Rider for Death Touch creatures. And whenever a creature you control with Death Touch deals damage to a Planeswalker, destroy that Planeswalker. Aside, Death Touch should kill Planeswalkers. I said it. Send tweet. Death Touch should just kill Planeswalker straight up. If I have a 1/1 Death Toucher, I attack your Teferi, it should die. Rules change. Call somebody. Alright, we're back. So, yeah, so definitely a reasonable card. I mean, solid defensive card. It eventually attacks for 2. It's cute. It's a cute little card. I doubt I'll see play constructed, but definitely very good limited, and definitely it's a solid card. Yeah, if anyone's against that change, let me know in chat or in the comments on YouTube, alright? Simple as that. Simple as that. Infernal Scarring. 2-mana aura, enchant creature. Creature gets +2/+0 and has, when this creature dies, draw a card. This is a pretty good card. I like the aura as a cantrip a lot. Because they obviously get rid of the downside of an aura. It's obviously a little awkward if they bounce it or something like that. So like it's not as good as getting the card up front, but making your random, you know, creature into a reasonable threat is definitely fine. It's not great. It's not an amazing card, but I could see playing this card limited for sure if I'm aggressive. It's a card. It's a card. At 1 mana, this card's playable and constructed, I think, but not at 2. Not at 2. Karvik the Spiteful. Karvik is back, and Karvik, I've seen a lot of people naysaying this card. I think this card's good. Knight of Soul's Betrayal is a real Magic card. People laugh at it, but -1/-1 to everything is a really serious thing. Obviously, it kills X1s, right? Great. If they have 3 2/2s in play, now they're 1/1s. That's a huge downgrade to your board, you know? So this is probably like a sideboard card in Constructed. It's like a sort of like super Plague Engineer for like small creature decks. But yeah, definitely a pretty cool card. It's a Warlock. It's kind of cool too. This card will see play Constructed. It is your own stuff too, but you're probably not playing this in a deck with creatures in it. Something like a control deck brings this in against the aggro deck. They don't have any kill spells. They can't by their creatures. Yeah, Night of Soul's Betrayal is definitely a card for sure. So I think people are sleeping on this card. It's not amazing, but it's not as bad as it looks. It's definitely a very real card. Very real card. If it only did your opponent's stuff, it would be really, really good. So then you can play it in aggro decks and stuff. So I'm pretty happy it's templated the way it is. I think it could have been a 3/3, honestly. But yeah, definitely a cool card. And then limited of his cards. And limited of his cards weird because obviously it affects your stuff too. But if you're a creature light kind of control deck, this card's really, really good. Really, really good. Booner's back. Definitely a card that should be evergreen, I think. It's very... There's just some cards in Magic that are just like fit really, really well in the overall like paradigm, how things work, just numbers wise. And this card's one of them. Similar to Duress, you know? It's not overpowered. It's pretty flexible. It's pretty reasonable. It's got a decent body. Just like a very solid card. I would not be unhappy if this card was just always legal and standard. Give them the boot, the roots, the radicals. Give them the boot. You know I'm a radical. So I like it. Not as good in limited. 1/2 flyer is not as good, but solid constructed card for sure. I like it. Liliana's Devotee. 3 mana for a 2/3. Zombies get +1/+0. That's a thing. At the beginning of your end step, if a creature died this turn, you can pay 2 and make a zombie. It's a solid card. I haven't been keeping track of what's a zombie, what's not a zombie, but definitely a solid limited card. Not going to see play constructed, but cool limited card. A little bit of pump, decent sized body. Not too hard to get a creature off of it. It's pretty cool. Kind of creepy, but pretty cool. And this dude does like Liliana a lot, for sure. Also a Warlock. Liliana's Standard Bearer. So this is like a cycle of Liliana cards. This is the rare. 3 mana for a 3/1 flash. When it comes into play, draw X cards, where X is the number of creatures that died under your control this turn. This card's pretty good. This card is definitely very good and limited. Like, really good and limited. Like, I attack, you block, we trade. I play this and draw a card. Awesome. Just right there. And then it scales up pretty insane. So, busted limited card. And constructed, probably pretty good. Having flash is interesting. Again, there's no life loss here, like Midnight Reaper. So, no, we're not like taxing ourselves too much. And, yeah, cool card. I'm not sure what deck wants it. But, obviously cool in sacrifice decks too. I guess Cat Oven, things like that. Sure, definitely very good there. Definitely a powerful card. This card will see play. I'd say this card is like pretty much on par with Midnight Reaper. It's in that ballpark for sure. So, Liliana's Steward. 1 mana for a 1/2. You sack this, your opponent discards a card. Activate this only as a sorcery. So looks really bad, right? This can obviously trigger something like your morbid effects in the 3 and black decks, but it's only sorcery speed too. So pretty mopey, but if you need a fixer for your death trigger effects, you could do worse. Trades 1 for 1. Could do worse. An actual Liliana proper. Liliana, Waker of the Dead. 4 mana planeswalker, 4 loyalty. +1, each player discards a card. Each opponent who can't loses 3 life. A little similar to Croxa. And then -3, target creature gets -X, so end of turn, where X is the number of cards in your graveyard. -7, you get an emblem, beginning of your combat in your turn. Put a creature from your graveyard onto the battlefield and it gains haste. So Ultimate's very, very good. Pretty underwhelming. 4 mana. It can affect the board when it comes into play, but goes right to 1 loyalty. And you're going to have a lot of stuff in your graveyard too. So, not the most powerful. It has the Liliana of the Veil uptick with a little upside, but on a 4 mana planeswalker, it's not as good. Again, the Ultimate's fine, but pretty mid-level. Probably not going to see a lot of play. And again, I'm not really unhappy with them kind of toning down the planeswalkers. I can't say I'm mad about it. So, I doubt this card will see much play. It's okay and limited. It's a planeswalker. It's obviously fine, but it's not super exciting. But yeah. If this card costs 3, it'd be really good. But yeah. So that's a card. Malefic Scythe. 2 mana equipment. Comes up with a soul counter on it. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each soul counter. Whenever the equipped creature dies, you put a soul counter on it. Very good limited card. Short Sword isn't that bad in limited, and this scales pretty well. Definitely a pretty cool limited card. cards that scale as the game goes on is definitely are definitely very good limited for sure. Not constructed playable, but definitely a cool limited card for sure. I imagine most decks would want this if you're playing a decent amount of creatures. Masked Blackguard, 2 mana 2/1 flash, can pump. It's your limited fodder card. Realistically, red is next. We're going in Wooburg order. Did white, did blue. If you missed anything, it'll all be up on YouTube. All right, so long review here, obviously, so you'll have plenty of time to watch it on your own time as well. Next, ooh, ew. Massacre Worm returns, and this card's obviously an absolute beating if your opponent's playing smaller creatures. Also a beating in limited. Let's have a moment of silence here for all the creatures that have died to Massacre Worm in limited. It's a lot. It's a lot. And the question, of course, is, I mean, what deck wants this card? You know, like, it's really bad against a lot of stuff. You know, like, imagine your opponent's playing Team Reclamation, and you're playing this card. Cool. But it's obviously also very broken against some stuff, too. So, definitely a powerful card. Probably more of a sideboard card, honestly. I'm not sure what deck would want this card, but it's a cool card. It's a cool card. It's a cool reprint. Another fun way to put some value in a set. You know, whatever. It's cool. Mind Rot. We've all seen this one before. Nothing really to see here. If you're playing this in your draft deck and you have like 2 or 3 of these, choose to draw. But probably not doing that though, so whatever. Necromentia. Excuse me. 3 mana sorcery. This is a Lost Legacy effect, but instead of your opponent drawing cards, if they have the card in their hand, they get a 2/2 zombie. Is that better or worse? It depends, I suppose. It depends, you know. Are you outsizing them? If they're a combo deck, I think you'd rather them have a 2/2 and an extra card, because the 2/2 doesn't really matter. You know, like, they're swaying Storm, they have a 2/2, who cares, you know? So this is definitely a pretty good version of this effect, I think. Let me read just make sure I know it does. I'm kind of assuming it does. Choose a card with a basic land. Yeah. So I think this card is better than Lost Legacy or those kind of cards. Simply because most decks you're casting this again would rather have a card than a 2/2. So, yeah, I agree. This is probably the best version of this effect, Dan, for sure. So, sideboard card for older formats. Basically. Peer into the Abyss, black, 4. Target player draws cards equal to half the number of cards in their library and loses half their life, round up each time. So yeah, this is just like essentially End of the Infinite, but a little bit different. I mean, I feel like if you're playing this card, you're probably winning that turn. I don't like cards like this. I think they're just stupid. The art is pretty freaky. Jeez. I'm gonna have nightmares tonight. And I don't think you're playing this card limited, so... This card's really good. Pestilent Hayes. This is your infest of the set. You know, Cry the Carnarium, etc., etc. Black, 1 sorcery. All creatures get -2/-2, or remove 2 loyalty counters from each planeswalker. So this is like a card you can main deck, and it's not totally dead against your control opponents. You know, I love this design. I've been saying for a while. I wrote an article about it a while ago that there have to be more ways to deal with planeswalkers. Incidentally, this is great. Love it. Definitely a very good version of the effect. Cry the Carnarium is still better against graveyard stuff, so might see more play. This is more of a main decky card, I think. So definitely not a card that might see play based on the format, but definitely powerful enough to see play for sure. And then this effect is fine and limited. It's not amazing, but it's definitely solid. It can be really good, but it's a little awkward. But yeah. Rise Again. They made Zombify, 4 mana, and a common. Probably not. There are many better versions of this constructed. And then limited, no cycling cards. Whatever. Now, this is one of the cards that has me really excited about Shrines. Sanctum of Stonefangs, 2 mana Shrine. Of course, Shrines are legendary, and they count through the Shrines. This drains for the number of Shrines you control. This one feels great. Because if you're wasting your time playing Shrines, the life gain is really, really nice. It's also a win condition later on. If shrines are a thing, this is the card that does it, or one of the major pieces that does it. Probably unplayable in draft, obviously, but this buys you time and wins the game. And just like the white shrine, this is just a cheap shrine. So you can play your 4-mana shrine and already have 2 shrines in play. It's not like you're starting on turn 4, you know? So the cheap shrines here are big, big game. I think this card's really, really cool for that deck. And I'll build a shrine deck for the early access stream for sure. Sanguine Indulgence, pretty mopey limited card. Even at 1 black mana, this effect is like, it's fine. It's not super exciting. Silver Smoke Ghoul. Dredge, anyone? 2 mana for a 3/1. End step, if you've gained 3 or more life this turn, bring it back from your battlefield to the graveyard. Tapped, pay 2, sack it, draw a card. Pretty cool card. Recursive threat. Wants to play with life gain also. Obviously, Creeping Chill in Dredge. You get it. But pretty cool card otherwise. Pretty cool card otherwise. So definitely a cool card. Definitely a cool card for sure. I like this one. It's also just a zombie. It's a vampire. Tribal synergies. It's a card. Skeleton Archer. Don't know why this card's black. Why isn't it red? But it's just a fine limited card. Can kill 1-toughness creatures. It's okay. It's fine. Cool art. Art's actually really cool, honestly. The color's really nice. Tavern Swindler. Grizzly Bear that flips coins to gain or lose life. Thieves Guild Enforcer. 1 black for a 1/1 flash. Comes into play. Or another rogue comes into play. Each opponent mills 2 cards. Opponent has 8 or more cards in their graveyard. It's a +2/+1 death touch. This card's pretty good. I embarrassingly called Slithermuse the best card of Ikoria. Still think that card's really, really, really good, but didn't really have a solid home. Cards like this will help that. This is a pretty reasonable card. Gets better as the game goes on. It's self-perpetuating. I think there's enough rogues to make this kind of like go. And once we're on, and it's a 3/2, that's awesome. It's great with Drama Lock, which is awesome. Bad against Euro. But yeah, I think this card's very real. 1-drops are a big deal. Slither Wisp, whatever. Yeah, obviously it's forgettable. All right, I get it. All right, it's forgettable. I'm a joke. You know it's not a joke? Our best of show for black. Do not underestimate this card. All right? I want you to take everything you feel about Arkham's Astrolabe. All right? How good's Arkham's Astrolabe? Talk to me. Use your words. How good is Arkham's Astrolabe, right? Busted. Right? Format defining card, multiple formats. What is Arkham's Astrolabe? All Arkham's Astrolabe is Prophetic Prism -1 mana. All right? Prophetic Prism is a mildly playable card. Right? Altar's Reap. Not, I can see it seeing play, but mildly playable card. But once you take it down from 2 mana to 1 mana, that changes everything. 1 mana spells are the bomb. And this is definitely the best black card in the set. This card is really, really good. It's an instant. It's a draw 2. We're talking sacrificey things here. We're talking about token stuff. 1 mana draw 2, sacrifice triggers. This card's really, really good. Like Arkham's Astrolabe, it's not necessarily doing anything heinous. It's just so efficient at what it does, and it plays so well with so many other things. Claim the Firstborn. How's that one feel? Turn 2 creature. My turn 2. Claim the Firstborn. Village Rights. Just so cheap, Opponent goes to clear a creature. Sack it. Draw 2. You get the idea. This is. Do not sleep on this card. Best of show, not close. This is a real card. I think this card's actually a little worse in limited because you can't build around it as strongly, but still a great trigger for all your death things. This card's awesome. I'm pretty excited about this card. Definitely pumped. This is a really cool cube card, I think. I'm pumped about this card. I think it's awesome. And best in show, not close. Best of show, not close. Village Rites. Veto, Thorn of a Dusk Rose, 3-mana legend, 1/3. Whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life, sure. 5 mana, creatures you control gain life at the end of turn. So we've seen this effect before. It's usually on a 5 mana enchantment or whatever. So this is definitely the most efficient version of this effect that we've ever seen. This card's not bad. This card's not bad. Like, Revitalize. Revitalize. Revitalize you, right? Radiant Fountain. You know, there's a lot of life things here that make things reasonable. It's got extra toughness. This card's sneakily good, I think. I don't know if it'll see much play constructed, but if there's a life gain deck, it's definitely a thing for sure. And just a very powerful card in general for what it does. You know, life gain, not the most powerful theme ever, but definitely a powerful card. Definitely a powerful card. And limited, I mean, obviously, you're going to win a lot of games with this card. Lifelink, attacking my team. Up, take a million, you're dead. So, super cool. He's a vampire. He's a vampire. Walking Corpse. It's a bear. Witch's Cauldron. 1 mana artifact. Tap 2. Sack creature. Gain a life, draw a card. Not quite the our best in show here, but it seems like a cool card. Not quite Witch's Oven either, but it's cute. Seems good and limited. Again, if you have crappy 1/1s, fodder creatures, you can kind of cash them in, gain some life. It's cool. It's cool. It's kind of a cool card. I'm not sure it wants it, but it's cute. It's cool. That's it. That's black. So black gets some interesting ones. Definitely a few cool reprints. Definitely a few cool constructed cards. A lot of cool limited cards. Nothing super exciting, but definitely honestly. So far, all 3 colors, white, blue, and black, have felt fine. Fine. Nothing crazy exciting. Some cool cards here and there. Nothing really insane-o, but it's cool. So we're going to keep going with red next, but all you YouTube folks, different video, all right? YouTube folks, please take 10 seconds, like, comment, subscribe. Please. If you enjoy my content, every video, like it, and leave a comment just saying, hey, Jim, you're great, or hey, Jim, you smell, or I like tacos, or whatever you want. Helps me out a ton with how the YouTube algorithms work, right? YouTube folks, love you. Thanks so much.